Cleveland precisely once for a broadcasting conference. A buddy of mine was running a radio station and asked if I would be on a panel, and I said yes. And so I came to Cleveland. That would have been a couple of years before I moved here to work at WMMS, and I didn't know anything about Northeast Ohio. All I knew was that during inclement weather, well, there were two things that are important to me. Every city I've ever worked in is living relatively close to the station. I'm not looking to do some 45-minute commute or whatever. And so that was kind of the one thing. All I knew about Cleveland when I was making some kind of preparation to move here was the conventional wisdom that during inclement weather in the wintertime, the east side gets hammered a lot harder with the snow, lake effect snow. And I said, well, that's all the information I need to convince me to live on the west side of downtown. We, of course, were working in Independence up until about a year and a half ago. But seemingly that whole thing got flip-flopped today, where the people that normally get all that lake effect snow are actually doing okay. We got dumped on out where we are. And, last night everybody prepares, all of our colleagues over there at WTAM, everybody prepares, for this just massive problem. And you have to. There's no downside to preparing. They've got to keep people informed and prepared and all that kind of stuff. And I did end up having to plow my driveway, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. But then I was hearing from people who are in spots that normally really get hammered out east, and it sounded like they were just having a high old time. So maybe they got a brief respite. I don't know if it's still snowing. I haven't looked out there. Was it snowing when you drove in?
Yes, it was.
It was, okay. Well,
it's when I walked in, and it's still snowing.
And where you live, there's probably, you're in a parking garage.
Yes.
And there's
very
probably somebody plowing the people who don't. Does everybody where you live, are they parking a ground, or are there people that don't make it and they have an outside
There's a few people
lot?
that don't have that, some of the renters.
Mm-hmm. They give them an outside lot.
Well, it just depends on if the apartment, because like the front side of the building has more like single bedroom units and like studios, and a lot of those people don't have a parking spot in the basement garage. Some of them have a street spot, or they're able to get a spot in the circle out front, but those are hard to come by because
and Poundcake's parking
tough.
On the street.
And then the street spots are life or death.
Yes,
but you need those.
Yeah, I did not park on the street last night because I don't know. Lakewood is weird because if you live on an emergency snow street, then you have to move your car after a certain amount of inches of snow.
Yeah.
And I did not want to deal with that. I already had I've been ticketed. I've been towed. My car has been stolen. I didn't want to deal with any of that. I want to park my car in a spot, not in a lot a couple miles down the street because of snow. So I stayed at my friend's house, and she doesn't have four-wheel drive. So I drove her into work today, and then I'm driving her home.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you kept your car here and then just took an Uber home.
No.
I see.
No, I stayed at my friend's house. She has a lot, and they're really good at plowing it.
Now, where does she live?
She lives out in Berea.
Okay.
Hey.
Mary's neck of the woods.
Yeah.
My old
Her
stomping
hometown,
grounds.
her
Hey,
old
hey.
stomping grounds. Are you getting snow there, Mary?
Barely. I
Yeah.
mean, there's enough that it doesn't really stick, and I don't know if that's because there's just too many people walking around all the time or what. But it snowed overnight, and then it's supposed to stop here in like an hour or two. But I don't know if New York City has snow plows.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
What do you mean?
No, I mean, like, some of the streets are so narrow with cars parked on both sides. I feel like a snowplow couldn't make it down some of the streets.
You have a narrow plow.
Yeah, for situations like that, for those narrow streets, they sometimes have like a smaller truck or like
Those brush trucks.
almost like a golf cart type thing with a plow on
That's
it, or like a
crazy.
tractor.
Here's somebody
I'm
got-
thinking of
not a golf cart, but like a tractor that'll
Yeah.
go down and do those. But
I'm
yeah,
thinking like the Ohio, like the semi-trucks with giant plows on them is what I'm used to seeing. And there hasn't, since I've been here only a couple weeks, that there hasn't been enough accumulation to need a plow. But I was just thinking about that on my way in, where I was like, how the hell do they get down these streets?
Well, I was preparing overnight because all I was hearing was that it's going to be 8 or 9 inches and blah, blah, blah. And I hadn't really paid too close attention to the time frame. But I was like, well, it sounds like we're going to get a lot of it overnight. So I'm up early and I'm preparing and I'm getting the plow ready and all that. And I ended up having to plow my driveway but it wasn't like some back-breaking thing. But I
Plow
guess
or snow blow?
well, like snow blow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a snow blower, and I got it out there, and I mean, we probably had 3-4 inches of snow out there, but I'm like, I'm not going to drive through it, and I don't know what my wife's doing. She's got a Jeep, though. She can drive over goddamn rocks and water if she wants.
This is the first time I got to use my 4-wheel drive.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm like, oh, this is why you have an SUV in Ohio.
That's when your car uses all 4 wheels?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you only have to use how many, Alan?
God damn it. I don't know. How
You don't have your buttons ready?
I wasn't even thinking about it. Sometimes, Mary, you only have to use
3 wheels.
Right.
Okay.
It just surprises me.
Timing is everything.
It really is.
It just surprises me the people that still have like lowriders and they drive those in the winter. I'm like, you live in Ohio and you have really thin racing tires and a really low car, and they're like on the freeway like swerving. I'm like, oh my goodness! Like
Some people only have one car.
Yeah.
I know,
and the
They're
rest
living,
of the
they're
year.
living for the rest of the year. They're not.
Yeah,
they're-
the rest of the year is worth it
Yeah.
enough for them.
But I understand that you should just get like a reliable car. Like I would be out there with my Mulan. you know,
Dude.
I was trucking before I had this car, and so by the grace of God, I nothing really ever happened. I mean, I did get into an accident one time, but I was sliding down a hill and I just hit the curb. I didn't realize anything was wrong. I heard a lot of scratching, and it wasn't until I got my car checked up or checked that they put my car up on like the rail, and then my axle just
On the
like,
rail?
whatever. What do you call
On the
it?
lift.
The lift.
They put his car up on the rail.
Yeah,
They
they
just
put.
tipped it over
Yeah, they
on
sure
its
did.
side like a turtle.
But like they put my car up on the lift and my wheels folded in. My axle was that broken.
Oh, no.
They're like, sir, how could you drive on it? I was like, I didn't know. It's
2
still
wheels.
rolled.
You just put me
They
like,
didn't go the other way. You were fine as long as the wheels were on the ground.
Yeah. I was like,
He's
I'm
like-
not doing wheelies.
is that why it's always going? It's like, yes, that's exactly why.
Why is my car always kicking sparks when I drive everywhere? I thought that it was a new feature you guys had added.
Well, you guys,
Axle's broken.
it was either 2019 or 2020. I was relatively new to the show, and I remember being like, dude, I think Kias are just terrible in the winter. And do you guys remember that when I was like, I'm fishtailing everywhere? Like, it had to have been 2019 because I got the car at the end of 2018. And I was like, man, this car is terrible. I don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then, Bill, you were like, well, how are your tires? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, he's like, well, then your tires might be bad. And then Bill came down. Do you
can see the
remember
metal.
checking my tires? And you're like, Mary, this is illegal. Like, you cannot drive like this. And I was like, I literally thought Kias must be bad snow cars. Like, it couldn't possibly be that I didn't do enough checking up. It's just that Kias are poorly made.
Yeah.
How bad were your tires?
They were like no tread.
like drag race tires where they're
Like,
just like flat.
horrible. Like,
Yeah.
Bill yelled at me, and then I took it into our buddy Josh, who does like automotive, and he was like, Mary, this is like not even, I can't even joke about this.
It's
This is
life-threatening.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, this is not only illegal, he's like, you should be dead if you're driving on these things.
In the winter, no less.
Yeah.
Like, in the snow.
Well, the garbage trucks have plows on them where you are.
Oh, okay. That makes
So
more sense.
there's a lot of that. But I mean, again, I don't have 4-wheel drive, and I was okay this morning. I mean, once I got out of the driveway, it didn't. At least when I came in this morning, it didn't strike me like it was going to need to be a 4-wheel drive kind of day. But
The freeways were not good. Like there was one lane that you could like drive on, and then
Yeah, but you're also kind of a worry wart. You would have been fine.
it was fine when I was coming in. I'm driving a Ford Fusion. I didn't have any, I'm not driving a tank or anything. But anyway.
I had no problems.
Yeah. Okay, I've got more money for you. 2:30 is going to be that next keyword. We'll get them for you about 30 past the hour to grab $1,000 from the Buzzard Bookie. So if you're still trying to get your mitts on that money, we'll hand that off. 35192 and text me for anything, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have.
Just tell me to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.
Our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Awards are coming to Fox.
Live from Los Angeles, Monday, April 1st.
The biggest stars from all genres of music are nominated, and it's up to you, the iHeartRadio listener to decide who wins.
And the iHeartRadio Music Award goes to...
The iHeartRadio Music Award goes to...
Who had the best lyrics? Who had your favorite tour style? The best music video? Best fan army?
Get your votes in for these categories and more at iHeartRadio.com/awards.
And get ready to celebrate with all of the artists who are nominated.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
It's your boy Jelly Roll.
21 Savage, the Foo Fighters.
It's Olivia Rodrigo.
Hi, this is Shakira.
It's